So next up is Angular. So first of all, let's create one Angular project. Make sure that you have installed the Angular CLI using this command. And to create a new app, we will use the command called ng-new app name, my app. So paste it here and let's change the app name to, but wait. Let's first change the directory to Angular here. Then we will use this command. This should be Angular Firebase. Save it and it will create a project in the Angular folder. It will take some time. So we want the routing, yes. We want CSS. So it's installing all these things here. So let's wait for it to install. And the Angular app has now been created. So now let's change the folder. Just do cd, what is it? Angular Firebase. So Angular hyphen Firebase. Enter. Now we are in that folder here. So it has so many files here that I'm not going to explain to you what are these. But we have to install one package here called Angular Fire. This is the official package for Angular. So you see, it's asking us this thing, so you can say yes or no, doesn't matter. So it will do some interesting things here. So yes, we want to proceed. It's installing the package. See, it's written here that the official Angular library for Firebase. And they are here. I will show you how to use this all things. So it's installing the packages. We must wait for it. And now it's asking a few things here. So we want authentication here. Authentication. So select. We don't need deployment. Okay, just select authentication. We don't need deployment, so leave it for now. We need Firestore. Okay, we need authentication and Firestore. Then enter. It will automatically configure the project for this authentication and Firestore, I mean. So enter your email account. Yes, this is my email account. See, it's asking the project name. So all the projects from Firebase has been listed here. So let me choose the Firebase frontend project here. This project here from the Firestore cloud. So yes, we need this app. What would you like to call your new app? So make it, wait a sec. We did something wrong. We have to start again because we didn't need the new app. We had already an app here that we can use. So that's a mistake I did for a very long time. After a long time, I mean. So we don't need deployment, this authentication and Firestore. Enter. Yes. Email is this. Let's choose the project name Firebase frontend. So we need this. So just use arrow keys to navigate. We don't need to create a new app. If you don't have any app here in Firestore, you can create it. So it's downloading configuration data and it's done. And if we check our, what is it? Environment, where is it? In SRC environments folder, environment.ts, we will see our storage environments. See, in this we have project ID, all these things that is coming from this project overview. So let me show you. If we scroll down to this, you see all these things are now here automatically. So it's a relief in the both production and development TypeScript environment file. So now what we have to do is start our app. So we can just say ng server, enter. So let me go to Firestore database. Sorry, let's go to authentication first, because first of all we will handle authentication. So it's starting. Let's wait for the app to start. It will take some time, maybe 1 day or 2 days. Then I will come back. So our project has now been compiled. So let's open it on the local host 4200. Okay. So open it here. localhost 4200. Let's bring it at the front. So close the app module.ts. Let's check app.module.html, app.component.html. So we also don't need this terminal. So close the panel, remove. So we can remove it or leave it. So let's remove it, all the HTML data here. And in the TS, you will see we are getting import, all the things are being imported automatically, like environment, get Firestore, get auth, and all that we chose before. So let me just format this and close this. Open app.component.ts. So this is the component for this HTML. So we write HTML here, and here we write the logic. Yes. So let's get data first, or okay. So let's handle authentication first. So we need to input field. So let's make it an input of placeholder. This should be email, and make it an auto close. See, we have the email field here. Then make one for password, input placeholder, password. Save them. We have input and password, email and password fields. And what we can do is we can just copy the previous input from this page. So just copy this div and place in the HTML file like this. So remove the buttons, comment buttons, and let's just add the styling from index.css. So copy all this styling and place into this app.component.css and save. And save this as well. Now they are here, but they are not in the center. So what we can do is we can't use body here. So copy these things and or cut it and paste it in the let's do this. So just copy main class name and replace body, and it will be in the center like this. So let's give them a margin little bit. So what we can do in this input of what is the class name? We don't have class name here. So give them a class name of input fields and copy the input class name fields and add it here. So let's give them a little bit margin between them. So margin 10 pixels. Fine. We have some margin between them. Okay, what we can do, we don't need the input label, so remove them. It's fine without them. So let me just now give this inputs a class name, because it's maybe hard for you to see the input fields here. But if it is not, it's then good. So class input field. So don't confuse between this fields and this field. This is one field and this is plural fields. Singular and plural. I mean singular and plural. Copy the input fields, and here we can just do a little bit styling. So width should be 40. No, sorry. Width should be 100. Let's make it 100. Height should be 40 px. Okay. Why is this not working? Okay, we need one dot also here. Fine. So if we refresh, okay, it's too ugly. So make this 220 height and 300 input. So this now look fine, I think. Now we need a button. So we can just make a button here. Button. So this should be, wait a second, who is this? No, when is this? So button should be, let's say, sign in, and one more for sign up. Sign up. See, we have two buttons. Give them a class also, button, or we can just do here submit button. We already have, so we don't need to use this. We can remove these buttons. We will just say button and width 30 px. 30 will be small, I think, not 30. Let's make it 100. And height should be 20 px. Fine. Also margin a little bit, 10 pixels. So our sign up button and the sign in button is now created. Make the height to 40. Okay, this looks fine also. One more thing to do is cursor is pointer here. So make it. So we have sign in button and sign up button. Now we need to get data from these two fields. So let's do that. So I have wrapped the whole code in a form tag and I'm using this login form as ng form. Then on function called handle register, which is sending the login form value. Here we have ng model in the both fields and we can collect our value here when we click sign up or sign in. So now what we have to do is we have to do what? We have to import a few things. So first import, what do we have to import? From Firebase, wait, not Firebase. We have to use Angular Fire, then auth. And from here, let's import a few things. First is auth, second is create user with email and password, and third one is sign in with email and password. These three things. So let me break this down. The imports here like this, and we have to make a constructor here. So constructor, and we have to create one auth type here. So auth will be of auth type, this like this. So remove console log from the values here, and it's here. So what we have to do is we have to just do this thing which is called create user with email and password. Then we have to pass this auth, then the email. So email is our value dot email, and third thing is that value dot password, and it will work. Wait, value dot password. Why I cannot type properly? Fine, but we have to use there this auth, not direct auth. And what is the error? It does not exist on the app component. So make this as public. I am doing public. Now it is fine here. We can make it private, but public is fine. So now we can sign up, and it will return some data. So we will just catch it. So we will just say response, and the type here will be any, and we will just say console.log or just say alert response. Okay. So we have to console it here, not just show in the alert. So console.log response.user. But if it fails, we will just catch it. So catch error, we will show in the console. Sorry, we will show in the alert. So alert, this should be error dot message. Then just save it and let's sign up now. In the Firebase, we have one email which is nishan as 440@gmail.com. So we can sign up or sign in. So let's first sign up because it is create user. Enter the password. Sign up here. See, auth email already in use. We are getting this error here. And if we sign in, we will the same because the both are the same. So remove sign in button. But if you sign up with different email, it will work. So let me see. Let me show you. Open the console, clear it, and change the email a little bit. Add the password. Sign up. We are getting all the data here, you see. And in this one, it will be updated in the Firestore Firebase Authentication. See. So now let's add the login. So just replicate the form or just leave the form here. Comment out this handle register function. Create one more function called handle login. Just like this. So it will accept the value. And I will just pass the function here, not handle register. So fail to compile. because we have to save this VS code, and we will just use this second property called sign in with email and password. So it will take the same things. First is the auth, so just copy this auth value.email and password, and we are done. Let's also copy this then and catch block, put it before this, after this, sorry, not before. Format this. Now let's try to log in. What is the error? Okay, we did something wrong, so I guess we are using one extra curly braces. Now it will work fine. So enter the email and password. So email is Nishant as some password. Sign up. Okay, let's make this button as sign in now. So click sign in, enter the email and password. If we open the console, it should work because we have the correct email and password. See, it's returning us this data, all the data that we get from Firebase. If we enter the wrong email, which doesn't have, which is not present in the authentications, we'll get an error in the alert. See, auth or user not found. But if we enter the wrong password but the right email, we will still get an error. Auth wrong password. See, it's now working. So our authentication is done. So you can add more authentications like what is it? Google authentication. Google provider, but I'm not going to show here this because if you check my previous videos, it will be there, just not for Angular. So figure it out and work. So now let's see add document in the Firestore database. So we need few changes. Make this as add data. Add data. Let's change the function name. This should be add data, and remove all these things from here, and also this previous sign in method. So we don't need this public auth and auth instance, and remove the import from fire auth. Then we have to add this data to this function. So if we enter some name and password, they should be here in the console if we check it. Now let's import a thing here. So import, so it will be from Angular /fire, and the thing to import is, let me break it down first. So first thing to import is, what do we import? Add doc. Second is Firebase. Okay, we have to also use Angular /Firebase. Sorry, Firestore, not Firebase. Then add doc is done. We have to import Firebase. Sorry, Firebase, Firestore to initialize our Firestore. Then collections keyword to specify the collections here. So add these three things first. Then in the constructor, we have to add the instance of Firestore. So we can say public Firestore and Firestore like this. Save. So you see, we only have one account here, one document. So let's add one more. So to add, we just use the collections first. So const db instance to select our database. So we can have multiple collections here. So let's select the collection we have to add data inside. So we can just do, we have added collection here, collection like this. Then just pass this Firestore instance. So this dot Firestore. Second thing it takes is the collection name. So it's users, and we are done here. Then we have to pass this tb instance in add doc function with the data we have to add. So pass tb instance and the values. So values like this. Value, we have single null value, fine. So we can use the then block. If it is successful, we will just say alert data sent. But if it fails, we will just say dot catch block. Wait, some error it takes as param, and we can throw an alert which will say error dot message. Now let's try this. Oh, what is this? Why we are getting this? Never translate this site. So let's add one email and some password for there to send 1 2 3 4 5 6. Add data send, and let's check here. See, we have another data here that says the email and password. We can add more fields, so let's add more fields. So make this as name, input name, placeholder as name, ID as name. We don't need ID here, but it's fine. Type will be text, and that's fine. We have 3 fields now. So if we send it, we will have our third field in the document here. So let's try this. Are we missing anything? No, we're not missing anything. Let's add the name, the email, then the password. Add data, sent, and it will be here with the third new input field, which is name. See, we have all these 3 things here. So that's how we add data in Firestore using Angular. Now let's read the documents from the Firestore. So import get docs function. Let's create a collection here in the constructor. And what we can do is we can create one more function here. So we will call get doc or get data like this. We can just create a collection here, and then we will just pass the collection to this get docs function. So the collection is DB instance. So pass this here and it will return some data. So we call then block, and we'll send us the response, and we will just do console dot log response dot data dot doc dot not doc docs docs dot map. It will take an item again, and then we can just return the item like this with the ID of the item. So make the ID as item dot ID. What is the problem here? It is not callable. So what we are doing wrong here? Okay, we are using return. Fine. So what we can do is just open the JavaScript file here in the JS, and then just copy this block of then data and replace it. It will be the same, but okay, we have to get the data here. We can just say item.data. Fine. If we open the console, but we have to call the function here in the constructor. We will use this keyword for the reference. And if we save, well, let's check the console. Refresh. We are getting the 3 arrays here. You see, password with the password, email, and the name if it has a name. So now we can store it in a variable. So let's make a variable here. So public data, it will be an array. So make any. Fine, and just initialize it like this. Save, and if we just store this data here, it will work. So we can just do data or this dot data equals to this response with an spread operator to spread it inside this data, and it's getting stored in the data variable. So we have to just open or just copy this public data, and here let's add in the after the form. So we can comment this all the things here and just do an eval tag inside an li list tag. Let's loop through the array. So we will just do ng for then it takes a item. So let's say let item of this array of data. Then we can just do item, okay, 2 curly brackets. I think we can just do item dot name. Save. we are writing the name because we only have one name here. So if we make it this is email, or let's add like this. So first will be the email, third will be the password. Save, and we will get our email, the password, and if we have a name we will get that too. So we are saying all this. Let me zoom it in and you will see also the email, the password, and the name for the respective lists. So read doc is also done. Now let's update the data. So we need a button here first. So add a button, and this will be called update. Save it, and let's create, or let's import two things here, which will be called doc and update doc. Doc will be used to specify which document to update, but and update doc will be used to update the document that we chose using this doc. So create a function const update data. Okay, not const, fine, that's error. Update data, just update data. It will take a ID of string, type string, fine. Then we have to add the button, sorry, function to this button. So on click, not on click, just a click, and just make the update data function, and the ID will be passed here. So item.id, we have to receive it here, we are saving it, so save the file. If we console the ID, we should get the ID of that field we are clicking on, ID. Open the console. Let's try this. Click update for this first field. It's getting here, this one and this one. Here we are getting the ID, and we will not use dynamic imports. I mean, we will not click the button and its value will be populated in a for. We will just update it statically using the static data that we want. So what we can do here is we can specify which document to update first. So make const data to update equals to, we will use doc keyword here. It will take three parameters. The two of them is called this Firestore instance and the collection name. Third one will be the ID to select which document to update. Then we will just use update doc function, and we will pass two things here, data to update and the data we want to update. So let's add the name here. So let's add the name of Ashish. Fine. Save this. If it is successful, we will throw a then block here, and we can just do alert data updated. And if it fails, we will just catch it and say error alert couldn't, or just throw the error dot message here. Fine. Save. Now let's update any field. So here we don't have the name of Ashish, so it will be added if you click update here. And one more thing we can do is we can just call this get data function after we are updating, because then it will automatically refresh the page and get all the data. So make this as this.get data to call the function here. So now click the update of first here, click it, updated, and see the Ashish name is popped up here. If we change it to something else, let's say Uday, and click another one, let's say this last one, this should be here, the name of Uday in third field. So updated, and it's here. If we click the previous one, which has already the name Nishant, it will be here, the Uday name, not Nishant. So we can change it like this. Okay, the fourth one we will delete. So we also need one more button here, so let's add it. It will be simple as well. So delete. The function name will be delete data. So just save the file and create a function here. Delete data. Okay. Then we have to add the collection, sorry, after document, which document to update. So make this as document data to delete, simple. We have to import the delete doc as well here. So delete doc. So just add it here. So we can do delete doc and pass this here, simple. And the rest will be then and class block, the usual things. Let's also get the ID here, the ID of string, because we also need the ID, and add it in the params. Save, and we will see a delete function button here. If we click delete here, make this as data deleted first. If we delete here, this should be deleted, and it will be disappeared. If we click delete for this one, okay, let me just change the few things. Make this update here, but first let me change it to Nishant. We can change other fields as well. So if we change the email here in update, it will be updated. So let's say nishant123@gmail.com. So here in this scenario, we are updating two fields. So if we change the first, the name and email will be changed here. Click update, updated, and the email is now nishant123@gmail.com, and the password is the password is same, but the name has been changed. So let's delete this Nishant field. Deleted, and it's not here anymore. We only have one field, and it's being updated dynamically. So our 4 operations are now done, which is called CRUD operations, as well as as well as sign up and sign in with email account and password. So that was all about Angular and how to handle Firebase authentication and CRUD operations in Angular. So go ahead and experiment with this for a little bit, and it will be good for you. I don't know what else to say. Okay then, bye bye.